Welcome to my new calculus channel. My name is John Gabriel. And in this 7th video, I discuss the crap axiom, belief 7, okay? And belief 7 was really established because the mainstream morons wanted to formally define function. So let's begin. Now, the belief of replacement, which is the 7th belief, states that if f is a function, well, this is kind of circular because they're trying to define a function in terms of sets, but already it's a function. So what is a function if you haven't yet come to belief 7? You know, circularity is a key feature of the syphilitic mainstream brains, okay? Everything in their knowledge and theory is circular. Circular reasoning works because circular reasoning works, according to the morons. So if f is a function, whatever the hell a function is, then for any x, there exists a set y equal to... Now suddenly we're supposed to understand that f takes a set as an input, okay? And basically f of x exists for every x in the set x, right? The belief is written as follows, and I'm not even going to try and read that because it's just total crap. Except that I am going to tell you that it is required in mainstream theory in order to formally define function, which, by the way, needs to be defined because the word function here is used. And even if somebody tries to retort that this is what it means, well, this doesn't mean anything if f isn't a function, okay? So words are required to explain the meaning of symbols, you fucking morons, okay? It's, excuse my language, but I get so worked up with these idiot set theorists and topologists and these professors who've got bird brains, not even a brain bigger than the size of a pea. And you tell these morons that you cannot have this concept because it is ill-formed, but they've never understood what it means for a concept to be well-formed. Well, in any case, they wanted to have a mapping between sets. So this here is some kind, lays a groundwork for mappings from domain to range, for example, and then you can have statements such as these. For example, D is a domain of all x such that x belongs to R. However, there's a problem here because R is supposedly the set of real numbers, and there is no valid construction of real numbers. Real numbers do not exist. In fact, all mainstream academics I've met have never understood the concept of number because they failed to understand Euclid and what Euclid had written down. A number describes the measure of a magnitude. A number is the measure of a magnitude or a size. Nothing else is correct, okay? So some moron might retort that a function cannot be defined everywhere unless R exists, but that's totally false because there are many magnitudes that can't be measured. Example, pi, e, and square root 2. And in one of my world-famous articles where I describe the myth of the real number line, you'll see that pi and e cannot be reified on the number line because in order to reify a point, you need not only to be able to construct the distance, but also to calibrate the point on the number line. And writing down pi or e, neither of those are numbers. Those are symbols for magnitudes, not symbols for numbers. And I've produced many videos along this line, so I suggest you go back and watch my videos because they are filled with wisdom, and you will learn more from me than you will learn from all the morons that came before me, okay? I know more than anybody else about mathematics. Yeah, that sounds cranky, but in my case, I am the exception. It's true. So I've often wondered why the idiots don't just write, if they're so anal retentive, why don't they just write x is an element of M, where M stands for the set of all magnitudes or sizes? Well, probably because, it didn't satisfy their anal retentiveness. And in fact, there is no need whatsoever for any of this mental masturbation. It is ill-formed rot and completely unnecessary in mathematics, not required for the foundations, which are Euclid's elements. So ZFC is really a bunch of ill-conceived ideas, and so far I've covered 7 of the 9 beliefs, and there are 2 left. And today I've done 3 videos, which is quite a record, and the reason for that is that I'm feeling good. But I'll try to get the other 2 out as soon as possible, and to show you that they fail. All the axioms, the so-called axioms, fail from the very first one. And unless you accept rules and decrees, which have no place in mathematics, only logic and sound facts have place in mathematics. Unless you accept these beliefs, you cannot accept modern foundations, which are set theory and the ZFC axioms. Well, I really wish I could have done this in a more relaxed and civil way, but I'm so sick of this nonsense, and it has to go. It may not go in my time, but I know it's going to go, because this is not mathematics. This is nonsense. George Cantor is or was the father of all mathematical cranks. And, those idiots who ordained this to be the foundations, the Bourbaki group in France, they should all have been taken out and shot one by one, in fact, because this is just absolute rot that has discouraged students from becoming mathematicians, and you can't understand it because it's incomprehensible rot. That's all there is to it. Well, I hope to complete the next 2 videos very soon, and subscribe to my channel, download the most important mathematics book ever written, which will be in the link in the details section. Tell your friends about this channel. I have many enemies, especially in the mainstream. So if you don't click like and encourage others, these pearls of wisdom will not be heard by anyone. And there's a lot of misinformation about me on the internet. I'm called a crank and a crackpot and a psychopath, etc. Now listen to my words and decide for yourself if I'm any of those things. Well, I'm actually out of breath now, so this is the New Calculus channel, and I'm John Gabriel. Till next time, goodbye.